I was in a shock the first couple weeks.
You never think it's going to happen to you, your family. I never thought that my child would be sick.
Just never crossed our minds that it could be something as serious as cancer.
Not many 2-year-olds have learned to have to walk twice, because he just started walking, then he got sick.
Cancer is in our family. A week after Sanders was born, my mom died from cancer. It's just, you know, I didn't think that we'd be dealing with something so soon.
He started running fevers a couple weeks before he got diagnosed, and we took him to the doctor several times, and they just basically said it was viral and it would go away. She was persistent, and she said, no, there's something else wrong, something else is not right. A couple hours later, they sent us home. A few hours after that, we got the call that changed our life as we know it.
The first 6 months is the roughest, where you do have a lot more overnights of chemo stays. And then now, after you hit where you're doing it monthly, it's just you go, then they'll hook up to his port and then do it once a month rather than weekly.
Each and every member of your family, it affects a certain way. Our boys, they've had to live the last 10 months without having mom and dad around like we should be.
We just explained to him that, you know, Grandma's cancer was incurable, but Sanders is, and that was their biggest question was, is he gonna die?
You have to do what you have to do to get him well.
Hi.
How old are you? Are you 2?
He was 15 months when he first got diagnosed. Prognosis is he's in remission.
It is a very long road, but we have light at the end of the tunnel, and we know it's all worth it in the end. Everything that this little boy has been through, we know he's gonna have one healthy, long life ahead of him. He's gonna grow to be old. The diagnosis was very hard, but you live day by day, like you take everything day by day.
Sure has been through a lot.
She was diagnosed November 29th, 2012. It was the worst day of our life for sure. We've never, ever had anything like that happen.
16 months or so, you know, she started to, the first time it was just a high fever, then it went down, and then just wasn't quite right. I mean, she was the happiest kid in the world, you know, never fussed, never whined, slept through the night.
We'd take her to the doctor, get some antibiotics, come home. She would get a little better, and then we'd be back in the doctor again because she just wasn't smiling as much. She wasn't feeling like herself. She was more tired. 2 months after that, she developed these lumps on the back of her neck, which were about, I'd say, a marble size all over the back of her neck.
We ended up at the university, and they set up a meeting, went in there, and they asked us all these questions. You know, has Nora been feeling like this? Has Nora done this? Has Nora done that? And we were answering yes to all these questions, and I'm just thinking, how do these guys know all this stuff? You know, what are they getting at? They kind of took us to a room by ourselves and, you know, said they think that there's a really good chance Nora has leukemia. And I just remember asking, well, it could still be a virus, right? Kind of looked at us and just said, it's possible, but we're pretty sure. You know, that's kind of when the world turned upside down for me. That same day she was scheduled for a bone marrow biopsy to get in and I guess basically confirm it. you know, their suspicions and find out what type it is. And said, you know, it'd take half hour, and then they came and got Michaela and I like 15 minutes later, said we needed to go to the intensive care unit because the procedure didn't go well. Same little girl we thought had a virus going to the hospital that day is just laying there with all these cords and tubes and monitors and doctors and, you know, another doctor just slowly squeezing air into her lungs.
But with the blood test they had run, they confirmed that night she did have leukemia.
You just see these little people walking all over the place, and some of them similar to Nora, some of them way worse. It's just, I never knew that, and it shocked me and saddened me and blew my mind. We're so far from alone.
Mm-hmm.
The first 30 days, it's basically hardcore. They just hit him with everything, and they told us that we're not going to stop unless, you know, she's almost on her deathbed. And then they go through a little lighter phase, kind of tone it down. And with the research, they found that after that kind of toned down, you know, the second 30 days, so after 60 days, they start it's called delayed intensification phase, where they ramp it up and hit them really hard again.
Now we're in the phase called maintenance, so it's still pretty intense, and you know, she's a trooper, she's handling it, and her last chemo, her end of treatment date is Valentine's Day 2015.
I don't know, I'm gonna chase you.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
Okay.
One night we woke her up about 2 in the morning, felt her head, and it was obvious she had a fever. Called in, and we had to take her in and just woke her up and said, Nora, we have to go to the hospital. And she just kind of rubbed her eyes and said, okay. She's like, can I bring my baby? I said, yep. And then so we got her in the car and started driving to the hospital, and she's like, are they gonna put my port in? You know, the port that goes in her chest. And I said, yep. And she hates that. She's like, okay. And she's like, but they'll make me feel better, won't they? So, yep. She doesn't even cry with her port. She doesn't complain. She just, yeah, we have to go to the hospital. Okay, can I play with the toys? And
she wants to do it by herself now. She sits on the bed all by herself. She puts, they put the cream on, and she doesn't want to sit in mommy's lap or daddy's lap. She wants to do it all by herself.
It feels like you're hungry.
I am hungry. And we'll go to a doctor appointment for me or Ben, and she'll tell the doctor she has a port, and she goes to the hospital, and she's so proud of it. Proud of, you know, what she's been through. The huge thing that would help our family is the research. The 76 cents to every dollar that is raised is going towards research, and that's huge for Nora and the future kids and future families affected. Co-pay assistance and educational materials when they're first diagnosed. If some families are newly diagnosed and have nobody to talk to, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society will set you up with parents of children who have been diagnosed.
Important to keep fundraising because all the money raised will hopefully eventually go to find a cure so that some other families don't have to go through what we've been going through.
Go get your hair wet.
No, I don't want to get my hair wet.
They all have busy lives and don't have to be doing this. I mean, it's so easy to do other things, say I'm busy, I can't do it, and these guys are kind of stepping out and putting themselves out there. I have just so much respect and thanks, and words, you know, can't really describe how much, you know, that means. It's just, it means a lot.
Cancer affects a lot of people, not just the kids, but everybody. Those
first couple weeks, it was just so hard to kind of wrap my head around it that, you know, our little, not even 2-year-old has cancer, and it's just really difficult, but so many people reach out, and you start to learn that so many people care and you're not alone, and it makes fighting a lot easier.